Abolish. To abolish something means to put an end to it, such as a system or law.
President Lincoln abolished slavery in the U.S.
Amend. To amend something means to change it to improve or make it accurate.
The countries were in agreement that the treaty needed to be amended.
Aspire. To aspire means to have a strong desire to achieve or do something.
George aspired to be a doctor from a young age.
Censor. To censor information means to remove it if it is rude or rebellious.
To protect innocent people, the location of the bomb was censored.
Charter. A charter is a document that describes the rights of an organization or group.
The company charter explained that all employees had to pay a tax.
Constitution. A constitution is a document of principles for a government.
The country's constitution said a prime minister could only serve 3 terms.
Cosmopolitan. When a place is cosmopolitan, it is full of people from many different places.
There are dozens of different types of restaurants in a cosmopolitan city.
Disseminate. To disseminate information or knowledge means to distribute it.
The organization disseminates information about the dangers of smoking.
Flatter. To flatter people means to praise them in an effort to please them.
He was just flattering me when he said that my new dress looked gorgeous.
Infamous. When someone is infamous, they are well known for something bad.
That news channel is infamous for presenting biased information.
Lame. If one is lame, they cannot walk properly due to an injury to the leg or foot.
The terrible accident left many people dead and several others lame.
Limp. To limp means to walk with difficulty because someone's leg or foot is hurt.
After the injury, the player limped off of the field.
Outburst. An outburst is a sudden, strong expression of an emotion.
There was an outburst of cheers when the comedian took the stage.
Pathological. When a behavior is pathological, it is extreme, unacceptable, and uncontrollable.
The pathological liar could not even tell the truth about unimportant matters.
Phenomenal. When something is phenomenal, it is unusually great.
The child's ability to play the piano is nothing short of phenomenal.
Poll. A poll is a survey in which people give their opinions about important things.
The poll showed that many people support the plan to stop gang violence.
Remorse. Remorse is a strong feeling of sadness and regret.
When I realized what I did, I felt remorse for my actions.
Secrecy. Secrecy is the behavior of keeping things secret.
The secrecy of the big organization made the government nervous.
Tackle. To tackle something means to deal with it in a determined and efficient way.
Such social problems need to be tackled right away.
Trance. A trance is a state where people seem asleep and have no control of themselves.
The woman's powerful eyes often put me in a trance.
Coward. A coward is a person who lacks courage to do risky or dangerous things.
A firefighter cannot be a coward. They have to be able to act quickly.
Delete. To delete something means to remove or erase written material.
Several lines had been deleted from her speech.
First-hand. If something is first-hand, then it is from an original source.
If you want first-hand knowledge, ask someone who saw it.
Earnest. If someone is earnest, then they are honest.
The child was very earnest when she told her mother how she broke the dish.
Ethnic. If something is ethnic, then it is related to a group with a similar culture.
Many sections of the city are home to different ethnic communities.
Exclude. To exclude someone means to not accept them into a group.
Carol was excluded from the contest because her friend was a judge.
Fluent. If someone is fluent in a language, then they are able to speak it very well.
She was so fluent in German that you'd have thought she was from Germany.
Imperial. If something is imperial, then it is of or related to an empire.
These old imperial coins were once used in the Roman Empire.
Inclusive. If something is inclusive, then it is open to all groups and people in society.
A more inclusive event would have allowed children to attend.
Legislature. A legislature is the section of a government that makes laws.
The senator had served 10 years in the national legislature.
Linguistic. If something is linguistic, then it is concerned with language.
A linguistic way of studying culture focuses on words within that culture.
Monolingual. If someone is monolingual, then they speak only one language.
In today's global economy, being monolingual limits your opportunities.
Nationality. Nationality is an identity based on the nation from which you come.
His nationality is German, but he speaks French, Spanish, and Korean.
Patriot. A patriot is someone who loves, supports, and defends their country.
Every year, young patriots join their country's militaries.
Prosecute. To prosecute someone means to take legal action against them.
They were prosecuted for fishing in the river without a permit.
Racial. If something is racial, then it is related to race or races.
The differences between racial groups are physical characteristics and culture.
Solemn. If something is solemn, then it is serious and honest.
The professor preferred a solemn relationship between him and his students.
Solidarity. Solidarity is a union formed from common responsibilities or interests.
All the citizens came together in a show of solidarity to create change.
Tact. Tact is the ability to avoid offending people when dealing with problems.
Since both sides would not agree, it required someone with tact to make peace.
Undermine. To undermine someone means to betray or weaken their efforts or authority.
The documents help to undermine the workers' trust in their boss's honesty.
Allocate. To allocate something means to put it aside for a certain purpose or person.
The government allocated $100 million to aid the disaster relief effort.
Appetizing. When food is appetizing, it looks and smells very good.
The appetizing plate of cookies was gone in half an hour.
Blizzard. A blizzard is a severe snowstorm with strong winds.
We did not dare to go outside during the terrible blizzard.
Cavity. A cavity is a hole or space in something.
There was a small cavity in the wall of the cave where an animal lived.
Clockwise. If something moves clockwise, it moves in a circle in the same direction as a clock.
Turn the screw clockwise to tighten it.
Concentric. When circles or rings are concentric, they have the same center.
The target was a series of concentric circles.
Courtesy. Courtesy is the excellence of manners or social conduct.
Jenna always behaves with great courtesy when people visit her home.
Crisp. When food is crisp, it is hard or has a hard surface in a way that is pleasant.
My favorite snack is a bag of crisp, delicious potato chips.
Discord. Discord is disagreement or fighting between people.
There was much discord between the experts on the talk show.
Frigid. When something is frigid, it is extremely cold.
We decided not to go on the hike because the weather was too frigid.
Generate. To generate something means to cause it to develop or begin.
The mayor promised to generate new jobs and programs to help the poor.
Glacial. When something is glacial, it relates to large masses of ice that move slowly.
Penguins thrive in the glacial regions of Antarctica.
Interchange. An interchange of ideas between people is a discussion of each person's idea.
There was an interchange of ideas between the groups.
Locker. A locker is a small cabinet with a lock where people store their possessions.
I keep my school books in my locker.
Multicultural. When something is multicultural, it relates to many different cultures.
Everyone was welcome to attend the multicultural celebration.
Omission. An omission is something that has been left out or not done.
Mike was upset because of the omission of his name during the ceremony.
Oversee. To oversee something means to make sure that it is being done properly.
His job was to oversee the progress of the construction project.
Pierce. To pierce something means to make a hole in it using a sharp object.
The arrow pierced the target in the very center.
Replicate. To replicate something is to do it in the exact same way as someone before.
I would love to replicate my father's achievements in school.
Wavy. When something is wavy, it is not straight but has a series of curves.
The child drew wavy lines all over the piece of paper.
Abide. To abide by something, like a rule, means to obey it.
If you want to play the game with us, you must be willing to abide by our rules.
Conversion. Conversion is the act of changing something into a different state or form.
The city discussed the conversion of the parking lot into a skateboard park.
Cram. To cram things means to put them into a place that can barely contain them.
He crammed all of his shirts into the top drawer of the dresser.
Defer. To defer means to arrange for an action to happen at a later time.
The girl was very sleepy, so she chose to defer her bath until morning.
Export. To export products means to sell them to other countries.
The United States exports many cereals and grains.
Fume. Fumes are unhealthy smoke and gases that are made by fires or chemicals.
The engine put unpleasant black fumes into the air.
Habitual. If something is habitual, it is a behavior that a person usually does or has.
The man was a habitual liar who was incapable of being honest with the police.
Justify. To justify something means to show or prove that it is necessary.
The government tried to justify its decision to bring the country into a war.
Output. Output is the amount of something that a person or thing produces.
The boss hired more workers to increase the factory's output of products.
Overpopulation. Overpopulation is the state of having too many people in an area.
The organization is concerned with overpopulation of the world.
Patent. A patent is a right to be the only person allowed to make or sell a new product.
He quickly established a patent for his brilliant invention.
Penalize. To penalize someone means to punish him or her.
The team was penalized when they broke the rules.
Petroleum. Petroleum is a liquid natural resource from which many fuels are made.
The petroleum at that factory is used to make gasoline.
Prototype. A prototype is a new machine that is not ready to be made in large quantities.
He introduced his prototype to the motorcycle company.
Scrap. A scrap of something is a small amount of it.
Chris liked to use many scraps of paper when thinking up ideas.
Sector. A sector is a part of a country's economy in a specific type of industry.
We learned about just a few of the factories within the manufacturing sector.
Subscribe. To subscribe to something is to agree or to concur with it.
She subscribed to the view that musical education should be kept in schools.
Subsist. To subsist means to have the food, water, and money needed to stay alive.
Some people are forced to subsist on only a few dollars a month.
Suspend. To suspend something means to delay or stop it from happening for a while.
The oil company suspended production until it was sure the factory was safe.
Synthesis. A synthesis is a combination of different ideas or styles.
The band's music was a synthesis of many different musical genres.
Acrobat. An acrobat is a person who entertains people by doing amazing physical things.
There were acrobats at the circus that did impressive and complicated jumps.
Advocacy. Advocacy is the act of supporting or recommending something.
Janine's strong advocacy for the event made people want to attend.
Communal. If something is communal, it involves a group of people.
On the weekends, Theo and his son picked up trash in the communal park.
Fluid. If something is fluid, it is smooth and moves gracefully.
Boris was a famous ballet dancer because people admired his fluid movements.
Harmonize. To harmonize means to make different things go well together.
The sweet and sour flavors of the dish harmonized well and tasted great.
Industrious. If someone is industrious, they work hard.
Dennis was very industrious, so he never had problems finding a job.
Inventive. When someone is inventive, they are good at creating new things.
The inventive student built a robot to help her with her chores.
Judicial. If something is judicial, it is related to judges or courts of law.
The laws changed the way the judicial system was structured.
Mandarin. Mandarin is one of the two main Chinese languages.
Although John's parents both spoke Mandarin, he could only speak English.
Metropolitan. If something is metropolitan, it relates to a large city.
All of the metropolitan excitement of New York City made Rufus nervous.
Mimic. To mimic something means to copy the way it sounds or moves.
The hunter mimicked a duck's call and shot the two ducks that called back.
Misguided. When something is misguided, it is based on bad judgment or wrong beliefs.
The snake bit Molly during her misguided attempt to grab it.
Rehearse. To rehearse means to practice and prepare for a performance in front of people.
Vic's band rehearsed all week before their first show.
Scorn. To scorn someone means to behave without respect toward them.
The criminal was scorned by everyone in the community.
Sensory. If something is sensory, it is related to the senses.
Iris and Eric preferred the sensory thrill of watching movies in the theater.
Staple. If something is staple, it is standard or basic.
Hamburgers, steaks, and hot dogs are staple foods to cook on a grill.
Statute. A statute is a law that is official and has been written down.
The new statute made it illegal to walk dogs in the park.
Veteran. A veteran is someone who has a lot of experience doing something.
Hank was the team veteran and had played in more games than anyone else.
Villain. A villain is an evil person who breaks the law or hurts others.
The villain escaped with half of my family's valuables.
Vine. A vine is a plant that has long twisting stems and climbs upward.
The branches of the trees were covered with vines.